Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Listen, I want to say a quick thank you for all the support you've been showing on the recent videos. We're currently on 130 subscribers, so if you are new here, hit subscribe and let's get straight into today's topic. So today we're going to be covering 3 stocks that will explode in this crypto bull market and why you should be keeping an eye on them, and we're also going to be talking about the risks that are associated with each of these stocks. So let's get straight into the first one. Number 1, Coinbase. The number 1 publicly traded crypto exchange platform. It is the second biggest in the world in terms of crypto exchanges. So Coinbase is currently trading at $256.62 a share at the time of making this video, and they've seen significant growth over the last month as a result of the crypto bull market being upon us. As you can see on screen, the Coinbase analysis report is that they rate it to be a kind of buy/hold at the moment. I disagree with this analysis report. I believe Coinbase can go significantly higher than its current trading price, at least to 300 to 350, given the peak of the bull market and all the good things they have going for them, which I'll show just now. So Coinbase actually makes most of its money as a result of the fees that they charge on the platform for each crypto transaction, and depending on the price of the transaction as well. As you can see on screen, here's an example of the fees that they currently do. 0.99 is around about $10. In terms of the fees, well, 1.49 for $10 to $25. You can see this increases in price depending on the price of the crypto transaction. So as you can see on screen, Coinbase's users reflect a 20% decline in 2023 compared to 2022, but the users really depends on how the crypto market is performing overall. So as you can see, 2022 there was around about 70 million users. In 2023 there was 56 million users, and this is going to go back up, perhaps even higher than 70 million as a result of the crypto bull market being upon us. Bitcoin hitting new all-time highs, Ethereum over $4,000, and we're just at the start of this bull market, so we could expect a lot more users to go to Coinbase's platform as a result of this bull market, and in turn Coinbase will generate more from a fee perspective and produce better earning reports. So with Bitcoin actually hitting $72,000 in terms of an all-time high, this has kind of put a spanner in the works, because Bitcoin has never hit an all-time high prior to the halving event. This was a first ever time this has happened in Bitcoin's history. So what this means as well is that we could expect a lot more from a Bitcoin growth perspective, because Bitcoin's done something it's never done before, and more users are going to be focused on Bitcoin, and this in turn will make people want to buy Bitcoin. The FOMO will become real. People will be like, well, if it can do 72k just now, that means it could do way more than what it's expected to do, so I'm going to buy some Bitcoin. And then they go into Coinbase and then they flood it with fees. Now, something else to bear in mind, Coinbase actually holds around 5% of the global Bitcoin supply. So what does this mean? Well, if Bitcoin goes up in price, so does Coinbase's holdings. A lot of Coinbase's holdings is actually for the reserves, their backside, in case something was to happen regarding Bitcoin. You know, if you don't have holdings as an exchange, you're kind of putting yourself at risk in case somebody was to do a massive withdrawal on your exchange, but Coinbase has the supply there to meet that demand if required. But in turn, the prices of their Bitcoin are going to go up as well. So as you can see on screen, Coinbase's earnings were actually significantly good, given the fact that we were actually in a bear market last year. We were coming out the end of the bear market, so what this means is that we're going into this bull market, and this is reflected in their earnings report. Look at the jump in December 2023. The EPS was beaten by 420%, and that's a reflection of the bull market. So if this is the truth, if this is significant, what does this mean for moving forward? This means that the bull market is fully upon us right now, and as a result of this, we're going to see a very good earnings report from Coinbase, and in turn push up the stock. So it all sounds quite good. It sounds like things are moving in the right direction for Coinbase. They've got increased users expected on their platform in 2024 as a result of the bull market. We've got a bull market upon us, which is going to do well for their holdings, and we've also got an expected earnings report to be pretty positive as well as a result of the other factors. But let's take a look at some risks. So as I said at the start of the video, Coinbase is the second biggest exchange in terms of market capitalization, in terms of volume, and what this means is that Coinbase in turn is going to be competing for these users against big exchanges like Binance, and in turn potentially lose out on some of that fees/revenue growth. That is one potential risk. They could lose out on that growth, that fees that they need in order to report these positive earnings and push their platform in the right direction. But what you need to ask yourself is Binance going to take all of Coinbase's users? Probably not, so we could still expect to see a big push in the earnings reports as a result of users joining Coinbase anyway. Number 2, the absolute dreaded bear market. So the bear market is probably not going to show up for the next year and a half, as we've just entered the new bull market, and that's the way that the cycles work. But when the bear market hits, it will smash Coinbase back into the ground. It won't go as low as it was before the bull market happened this time, but you could expect to see significant pullback when that bear market hits. Number 3, lack of security. So Coinbase doesn't actually have a lack of security on its platform. Its platform is pretty secure. There's not been any major breaches in recent times, but what has happened in the last few weeks as Bitcoin has hit these all-time high prices is Coinbase users have seen a glitch in the system. When they go into the app, they'll see that their balance shows as 0, and in turn this could cost some of the users to go to other platforms as they feel insecure about the platform. They get slight security issues pop up into their head, and in turn Coinbase loses some users and fees, and then slightly less negative earnings reports come out at the back of that. But is it that significant? Who knows, but bear this in mind as well. So with all this in mind, what do you think? What do you think about Coinbase? Do you think it's a good buy? I personally think, like I said at the start of the video, it could do $300 to $350 a share, given the fact we're moving into this bull market, given the fact that we're going to get more users going to Coinbase, and Coinbase's holdings are going to go up more. The risks at the moment don't pose a serious threat. They're very minor. So for the most part, Coinbase, in my opinion, is a buy. So that being said, we're going to go on to number 2. Now, my favorite pick in this list is MicroStrategy, and it is an absolute beast of a stock. Now, MicroStrategy at the time of making this video is actually trading slightly higher than what's shown on screen. They're currently trading around about $1,500 per share. I jumped into MicroStrategy at $1,200 and have since seen significant profit because I put quite a big bet into this one. So MicroStrategy actually holds around 193,000 bitcoins at the time of making this video, and they just acquired around 12,000 extra as well. What does this mean? Well, when Bitcoin goes up in price, MicroStrategy in turn is going to go up in price too, because Bitcoin is the main thing on their balance sheet, and that is why we've seen significant growth from MicroStrategy in the last 6 months. As we've discussed already, Bitcoin is expected to do around 80 to 100,000 all the way up to 140,000 this bull market, and in turn MicroStrategy is going to make a lot more money because they hold so much Bitcoin. They actually hold the biggest at the moment. I think they're just above BlackRock. BlackRock has around 200,000, with MicroStrategy just acquiring 12,000 extra. This in turn is putting them slightly above BlackRock. Again, with analysis, they're saying that MicroStrategy is a strong buy at $991 at the moment. That's what that analysis is based off at the moment, but given the fact that MicroStrategy is trading around about 1,500 just now, this is way off. You know, MicroStrategy has potential to go all the way up to 2,000 and beyond, given the fact that they have such a big Bitcoin holding and they're able to trade their convertible debt into more Bitcoin. MicroStrategy has formed an absolute formula to make themselves go up through the roof in terms of a share price, and their balance sheet is going to report very, very positive as well. So MicroStrategy's earnings report, as you can see on screen, in September 2023 was down significantly as a result of Bitcoin's price being down, and in December 2023 it shot up again. See this earning report that is going to come out for MicroStrategy in around about May or March. You could expect that to be very, very, very significant, given the fact that Bitcoin is up through the roof. Michael Saylor is up around 11 billion on his investment. This is going to blow the stock up even further. So we've got a couple of catalysts here. MicroStrategy's price increasing as a result of Bitcoin's price increasing. The earnings report is going to push it even higher as well, and in turn more investors are going to flood in, and we're going to develop that FOMO that will push us even higher. And also a short squeeze. A short squeeze is very, very likely here as a result of the short interest on MicroStrategy being at 20% at the moment. That is significant when it comes to the stock. That is going to push the stock up even further too. I see MicroStrategy being at least $2,000, given the fact that we see all these factors going up as well. Again, we've got a couple of us to talk about. Number 1, the bear market. The biggest fear for Bitcoin and all these other cryptos assets, the biggest fear is the bear market. Bear market's still a while away, as we discussed already, but this would be the thing that drove MicroStrategy down in price if it was to occur immediately. Number 2, MicroStrategy actually ends up selling its Bitcoin. Michael Saylor would be the one that makes the call here, and let me tell you something, he has no interest in selling his Bitcoin. When Bitcoin was at 16k, Michael Michael Saylor is ready to ride it all the way down to zero. He is a true Bitcoin maximalist, and in turn, this is going to see MicroStrategy go up in price because he doesn't have any intentions of selling. Number 3, too much debt too quickly. Let's say, for example, Bitcoin's seen a significant pullback and MicroStrategy pulled out debt in order to buy more Bitcoin. That would see them losing in two different baskets. So the debt would be there and Bitcoin's price would go down, and in turn MicroStrategy's share price would go down as well. But Michael Saylor is a very smart guy. He's very smart from a mathematical standpoint. He knows when to make the right calls, and in turn I do not see this happening either. So overall, with these things in mind, do you see MicroStrategy being a buy? I do, absolutely. The risks are not there. They're not significant at the moment. They're miles away. We've got bear market, we're talking debt too much quickly, we're talking short interest being quite high, we're talking Bitcoin's price going through the roof. MicroStrategy for me is a significant buy. It still has a lot of room to grow. 2,000 is not a crazy expectation. 1,200 it was at just a week and a half ago, and now we're at 1,500. You're still within a chance to buy it and be in with the ride that's going to come. So if you do want to buy this stock, always do your own research, of course. This is just my take on it. Now before we get into the third one, I just want to say, if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out, and I appreciate this video might be a bit longer. I want to give you guys as much information as I possibly can on the stocks I'm representing, and also Trading 212. If you haven't got the app and you want to start investing, go down to the link in the description. There'll be a link there for you to get a free Trading 212 share as a result of using that link when you sign up. Anyway, let's get into number 3. Now, this one carries the most significant risk, so you have to be cautious when investing in Bitcoin miners. Marathon Digital Holdings. I do own a portion of Marathon and I don't intend on selling it. Let's get straight into some analysis for this. I think one of the biggest ones for Marathon Digital Holdings is that they're looking ahead, they're looking into the future, and they're seeing that the Bitcoin halving is going to drop down the amount of Bitcoins that they can mine, and in turn they need to innovate, they need to think of things for the future. And in turn, they've came up with Enduro. Enduro is going to be a layer 2 network built on top of Bitcoin, and if Marathon Digital Holdings can pull this off, they could see significant fees come in as a result of doing so. Marathon Digital Holdings is currently the biggest miner in the space. They have 11 mining facilities with an operational energized hash rate of 28.7, one of the biggest in the space as well. And their current Bitcoin holdings are 16,930, and this is quite significant given the fact that they hold quite a big amount of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's gone up in price. We could expect that to have a good impact on the earnings reports that are going to come out as well. Marathon Digital Holdings at the time of making this video is actually on a bit of a downtrend given the fact that Bitcoin's up in price. We should have expected to see Marathon Digital Holdings go up in price, but there's been quite a big sell-off across the entirety of the miners, and this is because ETFs have become the primary target for institutional investors and retail traders to invest their money in, and as a result some of these people have pulled money out of Marathon Digital Holdings, Riot, etc, to then put it into the ETF, and this has caused a downward trend for miners, which is a little bit scary to be fair. So obviously Bitcoin's increased up to an all-time high. Marathon Digital Holdings has actually seen a bit of a sell-off. Like I said, this is the biggest mining facility that exists in the world for Bitcoin mining, and they're producing negative earning rates slightly as well, but we could expect to see pretty good earnings coming out in May as a result of Bitcoin's price increasing, and I think this is going to be the big catalyst that gets this stock moving again as we go into the bull market. Like I said, they've seen a sell-off, but with the new earnings reports that will come out in May, we could expect them to be positive, and as a result that will push the stock back upwards again. Like I said, this one carries the most significant risk, so let's talk about the risks just now. Number 1, the competition. They have competition of CoinSpark, Riot Blockchain, other Bitcoin miners, and in turn the chances of them being able to operate and beat these miners is at risk. You know, you do have these other miners out there that could compete and beat them in terms of Bitcoin output, and this puts their stock at jeopardy a little bit as well. So the Bitcoin halving is just around the corner. It's happening in April, and this will see the Bitcoin production for Marathon Digital Holdings, CoinSpark, Riot Blockchain all drop down slightly, and in turn we could see a circumstance where the Bitcoin production has dropped. Yes, the Bitcoin price is going to go up, but the cost for running in facilities is going to stay the same, and this is why we're probably seeing some innovation happening within Marathon Digital Holdings. This is why they're talking about Enduro to operate these fees to cope with the Bitcoin halving taking place. all of these things are gearing up towards Marathon Digital Holdings needing to innovate. So this is what's going to happen for risk 2. And of course, risk 3, could you guess what it is? Yes, that's right, the bear market is going to happen as well, and this in turn will send the stock back down as well. But we need to bear this in mind. Again, as I'm going to say, the bear market is still lengths and arms away at the moment, unless something very significant happens, like a breach in the Bitcoin network or Ethereum was to collapse overnight. You name it, these could trigger a bear market. But historically, they happen around 2 years after the Bitcoin halving has happened, so we're still in good foot for the bear market. It's not going to happen anytime soon. So with this in mind, what do you think about Marathon Digital Holdings? I still think it's a decent buy, but the question you need to ask yourself is there potential there to make money from other avenues? We've talked about MicroStrategy, we've talked about Coinbase. Are they going to prove to be more effective than Marathon Digital Holdings as we move into the Bitcoin halving and the future ahead? So bear this in mind, ask yourself the question, what do you think? Is it worth a buy? Let me know in the comments below. So we've covered all 3 of these stocks, and I appreciate this video's been a little bit longer than the other videos that I've made. However, let's actually talk briefly about what you should do. What should be the play? Well, look at the future ahead. Bitcoin has just hit an all-time high before the halving. This has never happened in history. So we could expect Bitcoin to act out of character, out of ways that has never been seen before. We could expect it to push upwards towards that 100, 120k mark, maybe even higher. Who knows? But the future looks bright. We don't see it pulling back, and in turn, each of these stocks is directly correlated with Bitcoin, and this will push them up higher as Bitcoin's price increases. This is what I think for all 3 of these stocks. So what should you do? Well, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to open up a fresh Trading 212 pie and invest accordingly into each of these stocks. In terms of percentages, I'm thinking 50% for MicroStrategy, 30% for Coinbase, and 20% for Marathon Digital Holdings. That gives me a good spread, and any money I want to put into these stocks moving forward will be spread across them in these percentages and allow me to diversify myself for all outcomes that could come ahead. Anyway guys, that is going to be it for this video. If you did like it, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I really appreciate all the love you're showing on the videos. We're moving upwards in that upwards trend, a bit like the crypto market, a bit like the stock market, and I'm glad you're here for it. So let me see you in the next video. Stick around and we'll catch up soon. Have a great day and see you later.